It's been a few days. Sorry it's took me so long. Just got to work these videos in as I can. So let's talk bullets. As a matter of fact, let's talk 300 Blackout bullets. Hopefully by now you've got to watch the video, you've got something out of it, and that you enjoyed the video. But now I'd like to try to share with you the results of the bullets, and I'd like to just kind of talk to you about them just for a few minutes about my opinion. And I know opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and some of us know a bunch of them. That's just the way it is. All right, so the first bullet I shot was the VMAX 110 grain bullet. And some of you all are like, man, yeah, I'm glad to see a bullet that dumps all of its energy in the target at one time. And that's great. If you like it, it's probably going to be a great round. For those of you who are like me and you like a double hole, you like one going in and one bigger one coming out, it doesn't quite do that as much with a deer-sized target. Personally, I really wasn't expecting it to be that explosive, but I also wasn't really thinking that it was going to be a best deer target or deer bullet. That cartridge is not known to be, crazy powerful round, but it is a very mild cartridge. So we'll get into what I think about the cartridge in the end a little bit. So the VMAXs, I really like those for something like a coyote or smaller game like that, foxes. If you're just purely killing them, if you're looking to recover pelts, probably not going to be a great round for you. But if you're just killing them for farmers or for fun or sport, whatever, I think the VMAX would be a great bullet for you. Personally, I think it would be a excellent round if you say had a shorter 300 Blackout rifle, like a CQB type gun that you kept in your truck or somewhere like that. I think the VMAX would be an excellent round to deliver a lot of energy, to put that bullet where you want it downrange without the pass-through problems that can come across with rifle cartridges. That bullet just disintegrated in the target. I wasn't going to try to pick up a bunch of fragments and weigh them. There really wasn't much anything in the. As a matter of fact, it didn't make it into the bullet catching part. So all of the energy didn't even really make it through the backside of the rib cage, which that's a fairly tough target. That's 11.5 inches of milk jugs filled with water. It destroyed them, all the way towards the back. So 3/4 of the way through, it was very explosive, but it didn't make it out the backside. I really did like that bullet, though. It told me a lot about what I wanted to know about it. One of the things about that 300 or that VMAX is the velocity is muzzle 2375, 2,375 feet per second out of the muzzle, and 1,377 pounds of energy. I will put these on the side, one or the other. But that's not too bad out of the muzzle. So I really do like that bullet in certain circumstances. The cellular Belot, however you say it. Let me say this. Some of y'all might critique the ammo that I chose for this. I tried to find ammo that would be budget friendly and still do the job. There are 15 companies roughly making ammunition in the 300 Blackout caliber, and each one of those is probably producing a minimum of 3 types of ammo in 300 Blackout. So there are a lot of different ammunition types that we can go with, but I wanted to try to bring in kind of 4 particular types of ammo. I don't hunt with subs, so I'm not going to really, test subs out very often unless I have a special request for that. Having said that, the the cellular, however you say that, um, did really well. As you can see by the picture of the bullet that I'm going to put up, or that I have put up when I edit this thing, it performed really well, and it retained 98.6%, 98.3% of its weight. Um, that's pretty impressive. Also, the cross to measure the bullet diameter is 0.308 or 0.30 in this. But the mushroom size was 0.61, so it doubled its size and in penetration as far as the mushroom goes. It doubled its size. Penetration was really, really good. Passed through the way I like for a bullet to do. I was pretty impressed with that. Recovered weight was 109.2 grains out of a 110 grain bullet. That's pretty impressive. So the Federal Power Shop is a jacketed bullet. I suppose you call it a cup and core, however you say it. It's got a thin metal outer layer, a jacket that goes around the lead core. As you can see, it did pretty good. It did pass through, but it did not have any gas left after it got through that final bucket lid. And when I'm thinking of this, although that some of this may be out of order in the sequence of events, those lids are pretty durable by the time I get done putting a couple layers of heavy duct tape inside and outside of that lid. Again, 3/8 twice, so 3/4. I feel like I torture them pretty reasonably. I think the only way I could really torture them more would be maybe to put a piece of mining belt, maybe a 1/4 or 3/8 thick mining belt, to kind of simulate maybe what a shoulder would be like, to make it a little bit tougher. Having said that, I don't know that the bullet would perform that well through the shoulder, but right behind the shoulder, through the ribs, through the lungs, through the heart, the bullet did pretty good. That particular bullet, I have actually taken about 9 or 10 deer. The furthest one was about 105 yards. That's really, for me, pushing the limits of that gun. However, they did really well. I recovered all of the deer. Before I get to that one, so the recovered weight was 146.5 grains out of a 150 grain bullet, so it did really well on retaining its weight. It did break apart, but it still, all of the bullet, the lead and the jacket all made it through barely. Having said that, the pedal size was not as good as I'd hoped. When it flared out, mushroomed out, it had a little kicker point that went out. If you measure just the base symmetrical size of it, it's like 0.53. So that's like 1.5, just over 1.5 times its bullet weight size, except for the kicker, which the kicker on it put it at 0.63. I don't really know that I like that, but anyways, the one that really surprised me the most, I kind of figured that the copper bullet from Cellular Balot would do well. Everything I've shot copper so far has done really well, but the bullet that surprised me the most and taught me something was the Federal Fusion, which is a bonded bullet. As you can see, that Federal, it really mushroomed well. It held together really well, and the penetration was incredibly more than double, more than what the same bullet or the same basic bullet and a jacketed bullet did. The bonded held together so much better, and that was an impression for me is like, man, I didn't realize that the bonded would hold together that much better than the jacketed. So that was a really good find for me to learn, which is part of why I do these videos. When you look at the Federal Fusion and the Federal Power Shock, they list on the box the same velocities, the same energy, and the same drop. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I agree with that. I don't know. It suggests that they use the same powder, the whole same load data. They just interchange a core bullet with a cup and core bullet, or a jacketed bullet with a bonded bullet. Again, the bonded bullets, they kind of sold me on that. So I really was pleased with the way that the gun did. Now, do I think that it's capable of doing everything a 30-30 would do? No. I really don't. I know a lot of people have tried to say, it's a milder shooting 30-30. In some ways I can agree with that, but in a lot of ways I really don't. I think with the right bullet, a good copper bullet or a good bonded bullet, the gun will perform really well. I think that it is very limited. 100 yards, maybe 115-ish would be my max limit on that gun personally, just because of the way that the energy drops are. Hopefully when I edit this I will put the box data so that you can see that as well. The energy at the muzzle, 100 yards, and I think I've got it for 200 yards, and then the bullet drop. So they say the magic number is 1,000 foot-pounds of energy. 100 yards with most of these bullets, it's just at or just under 1,000 foot-pounds of energy. There again, I think bullet construction does make a big difference, but I would not push personally past 100, 115 yards. I really did think the gun did overall pretty well. Some of y'all will probably notice that I had the same clothes on for when I do the video for the 6.5 Grendel coming up. Yes, I tried to get in multiple guns in one day. I was only able to get 2 guns in one day, but that video will be coming out. That caliber really surprised me. Anyways, guys, I hope that you got something out of this. I love learning. I love trying to find ways to make these bullets do their best. How good do they really perform? No, I don't have a lot of expertise, but I love to try. So I appreciate you guys commenting. Appreciate you guys being with me. I know some of you guys that watch these, girls, ladies, whatever, may not agree with the way I do this. Please comment and tell me if you can think of a better way to test bullets when deer season is over. Until next time, remember to love God, love guns, love your family, love your country. We'll be back soon. God bless.